Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll let folks get connected to audio and then go ahead and get started. Okay, looks like folks are connected. So good morning again. Thank you all for joining us this morning for today's community nutrition and a wellness session. This is part of a series that is done in collaboration with WANDA, Women Advancing Nutrition, Dietetics, and Agriculture, and DC Green. For today's session, we are going to be talking about the connection between health and nutrition and food and religion and how those two play together. Our presenter today is going to be Zaki Muhammad, who is a senior nutrition student from Howard University and one of WANDA's Food and Medicine Fellows. So I'm going to hand it over to Zaki to start the presentation and go over some of the housekeeping notes as well.
Hi, assalamu alaikum, shalom. My name is Zaki Muhammad, like she said. Just a little bit about me. I'm a senior nutritional science major at Howard University. I'm from Glassboro, New Jersey, and I'm Muslim. So before we begin, I just want to go over a few things. Please make sure to mute your devices. Ask any questions in the chat box. Please interact. This is going to be very interacting. So if I ask questions, please just answer them there. We can have a discussion about it. Handouts and resources will be provided later on, and this session will be recorded and made available for viewing. So here's the agenda. We have the opening welcome, why religious foods, different religions around the world, Islam and foods, Judaism and foods, Christianity and foods, the benefits of fasting, healthy and unhealthy oils, African heritage diet, Mediterranean diet, and end it off with Q&A. So religion and food choice. So first I want to go over why I chose religion and food. Firstly, it's March. So March, I'm Muslim, as I said before. So in this month, it's Ramadan's coming up. And also during this month, it's Easter coming up. I know April 9th. And so different religions are having their different celebrations during the month of March. And also religion and food have been a part of my life for a long time since I was younger, going to, and also National Nutrition Month. But yeah, religion and food has been in my life, my whole life. So I said, why not, basically make a presentation about why religious foods can be healthy. So yeah, so depending on their religious beliefs, people make decisions about which foods to consume or avoid all throughout the world. Certain beliefs have been practiced for many years and are firmly rooted in life. And for optimal health, a balanced diet is essential. Yeah, Lent, yeah. So why religious foods? So in times of need, people turn to faith for answers. So why not turn to faith? Why not turn to faith for guidance on healthy food? So here's just some stats about DC and like how people's health is in DC. Approximately 48,599 people in DC have diabetes. Almost a third of the population in DC has hypertension. So I said, okay, what can we do to tackle this? And so use religious foods to basically eat healthier. Oh, sorry, okay. So the roles of food and religion, a few of these include to speak to God, for instance, by giving praise and blessings, to show one's commitment to religion by adhering to dietary customs, and using fasting to build discipline, which we will talk about later. So these are different religions around the world. So religions which require particular food rules include Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Sikhism, Buddhism. But for the first interaction, can everybody just go in the chat and tell me what religious or what religion they follow, if any. So can we just do that real quick? I'll start it off. So we have Catholic, Christianity. Anyone else want to answer? Christian. Anyone else? Any other religions or no? Okay, well, yeah, so today we're just going to be going over the big three religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. So first, Islam. Pork is prohibited, animal product. The Quran, which is our holy book, it's comparable to the Torah and the Bible. It is the Quran lists the permissible, which is halal, and prohibited foods, which is I'm sorry. Yeah. So can you Tamara, can you go back a little bit? They want to see the slide about the DC statistics. Yeah, so like we said before, yeah, approximately 48,509 people have diabetes, a third of the population has hypertension. Yep. Okay, so yeah, so Islam. The Quran lists the permissible, halal, and prohibited foods, haram. Foods that are off limits are haram. So that includes pork, blood, wine, and flesh offered as an offering to idols are some examples. You can only consume beef, lamb, and chicken if the animal was killed using the halal procedure. So the halal procedure is basically just killing the animal in the most painless way possible. So we do this for different celebrations, like for example, we have Eid. I'll get into that more later, but for one of the customs in Eid is to actually sacrifice a lamb and feed the community with the lamb. So yeah. So the following Islamic holidays are marked by specific culinary rituals. So first and foremost, Ramadan. Ramadan is actually coming up. It is March 22nd. We start fasting. So it's basically just fasting from sunrise to sunset, no food or water all day. You get up at like 3, 4 a.m. and eat breakfast, and then you pray, and then you can't eat until sunset. So and at the end of Ramadan, which our celebration is called Eid. So Eid is all about community and coming together and celebrating like different foods. So like I said, eating lamb with people, eating rice, just different things like that. And then 2 months later after Eid al-Fitr is Eid al-Adha. So that's the day that celebrates the end of Hajj. So Hajj is the pilgrimage that Muslims go on every year. You only have to go once in your life if you're Muslim. It's to Mecca. If you ever seen the big black box in Mecca that people go around, we go around it 7 times. Yeah, so Eid may be observed by eating special dishes and sharing them with friends and family. So healthy foods in Islam. So starting off with dates. Dates are a staple food in many Muslim countries. They're often consumed during Ramadan, the month of fasting. So dates are rich in fiber, antioxidants, vitamins and minerals such as potassium and magnesium. They've been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties and help lower cholesterol levels. And dates are very, very important in Islam. Actually, in Islam, you're actually taught to break your fast, which is around like sunset in Ramadan. You're actually supposed to break your fast with dates and water. So dates are very important. So another one, olives. Olives are common found in the Middle East and are often used as a condiment or cooking. They're a good source of healthy monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, which can help reduce inflammation and the risk of heart disease. Again, another one is lentils. Lentils are a nutritious and versatile legume that's often used in the Middle Eastern and South Asian cuisine. They are high in protein, fiber, complex carbohydrates, which can regulate blood sugar levels and promote feelings of fullness. Just side note, my mom loves lentils. She gives me, every time I go home to visit, she makes me a big big bowl of lentil soup to take back with me. Yeah. So and honey. Honey is a natural sweetener that is often used in Islamic cuisine. Has been used for its medicinal properties for centuries. Honey has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. It may help soothe sore throats and coughs. And in Islam, in the Quran, honey is actually one of the things described in heaven for us. So when God describes heaven, he says, "Oh, there's going to be rivers of flowing of honey." So that tells you how important honey is to us. And lamb is a common meat in Islamic cuisine and is a good source of protein, iron, and vitamin B12. It's been shown to have potential health benefits such as improving heart health and reducing the risk of anemia. So as you can see, all of these are different foods that even if you're not Muslim, not religious person, you can still implement these into your life to make your life just a little bit more healthier. So we're gonna have a little quiz right now. So if you can just go in the chat and just type in what you think the answer is. So what is not allowed for consumption in Islam? Beef, lamb, chicken, or pork? Give a couple seconds to do that. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of D's. Pork, yeah. Seconds. So yeah, so D is the right answer. So beef, we can have beef as long as it's cut in the halal way. Fun fact, actually, the longest chapter in the Quran is called Surah al-Baqarah, and Baqarah actually means the cow. So yeah, so lamb we talked about earlier, as long as it's cut in the halal way. We have it for Eid, and chicken. Yeah, chicken is very, very common in Islam. So yeah, that's also food we can eat too. Another one, what is the name for meat that is permissible to eat in Islam? So kosher, halal, Lent, or Ramadan. Everyone, a couple seconds to answer that. Okay, yeah. So what about seafood? So seafood is actually naturally halal. So anything from the sea, oh, I just gave the answer away. Sorry. But seafood is actually naturally fine for us to eat. Fish, shrimp, crab, all that. We can eat all of it. I'll give it a couple. Oh, can you go back real quick? Yeah. So yeah, the answer is B, halal. So kosher is actually very, very similar. So we're gonna get into Judaism and everything in the next couple slides, but kosher is actually very similar to halal. We're actually allowed to eat kosher foods too. So yeah, so if we're ever like if I'm ever in like a grocery store or anything, if like a meat says kosher or anything, I know I'm allowed to, I'm allowed to eat it. Halal is the answer. Lent is it's not a way of cutting or killing an animal. So yeah, and Ramadan is, we already been through that. It's a month of fasting, so you can continue. Okay, so Judaism. So the prohibited animal meat in Judaism is pork and non-kosher beef, lamb, and chicken. The Torah, which is their book. The Torah is, I think, is the First Testament. So the Torah lists the things that Jews may consume. Foods that are banned are known as trefa, and foods that are permitted are known as kosher. So pigs and horses are not permitted in kosher cuisine. Fish that is kosher must have fins and scales, and unless they've been ruined by rot or insects, all plant foods are kosher. So there's different holidays in Judaism. So during the Shabbat, Jews should not make food. So sundown on Friday to sundown on Saturday. Kosher methods of killing and preparing meat are used. You cannot cook or consume meat and dairy using the same utensils or during the same meal. So Jewish festivals which have particularly associated food customs. So Rosh Hashanah, so that's the Jewish New Year. Sweet foods are eaten to symbolize a sweet New Year. Traditional plated shallot is replaced by round ones to symbolize the cycle of the year. So next is Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. It's a day of fasting. And Pesach, which is Passover. So no food which contains yeast can be eaten for the week. A special unleavened bread called matzah is eaten. And the healthy foods in Judaism. So starting off fish. Fish is a Jewish cuisine and is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which have been shown to reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, and decrease the risk of heart disease. Of olive oil. Olive oil is a healthy fat that is widely used in Jewish cooking. It's a good source of monounsaturated fatty acids, which have been shown to reduce inflammation, lower LDL cholesterol levels, and improve heart health. Vegetables such as leafy greens, vegetables, and root vegetables are an essential part of Jewish cuisine. They're rich in fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, which have been shown to improve digestion, reduce inflammation, and lower the risk of chronic diseases. Nuts and seeds, such as almonds, walnuts, and sesame seeds are commonly used in Jewish cuisine. They're rich in healthy fats, protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals, which have been shown to improve heart health, reduce inflammation, and lower the risk of chronic diseases. And herbal teas. Herbal teas such as chamomile and mint are commonly used in Jewish culture. They've been shown to have potential health benefits such as improving digestion, reducing stress, and promoting relaxation. Okay, so a little quiz for the Judaism part. So what is the name for the meat that is permissible to eat in Judaism? Kosher, halal, Lent, Passover. So yeah, so the answer is kosher. So we already learned that what halal food was very similar to kosher. Um, we're gonna get into Lent a little bit later and Passover. So actually Passover going into it is it's symbolized by the Jews like basically leaving Egypt. So and they like I said before, they use a special bread. So the bread they use is special because they believe that what's his name? Moses didn't have time to make like the usual bread. So they make this bread that's like rises in a certain amount of days, in 8 days that we went over before. So yeah, I found that very interesting. And okay, so a little harder question. What is Rosh Hashanah? I'll give you a couple minutes for that one. So did everyone answer? New Year, Jewish New Year, C. Yep. So yeah, it's C. The New Year. Yeah. Okay, so next is Christianity. So there are no restrictions on the kind of animals that can be eaten according to the basic views of Christians. Veganism and vegetarianism are dietary choices made by certain Christians. So are there any people that in here that are vegan or vegetarian? And if so, can you say how long? Oh, nice. So just real quick, what made you go vegan? If you can just like type real quick.
Yeah, I can speak to it. Just for the environmental and um, animal cruelty reasons.
Okay, nice. Anyone else? Is anyone interested in becoming vegan or vegetarian? Okay, I guess not. All right, so we can keep moving. Oh, you've considered doing meatless days of the week. Okay, nice. Yeah, so my parents, they actually are pescatarian, so they only eat seafood. Yeah, vegetarian meals too. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so Christianity, slowly decrease my meat intake. That's good. Okay, so Christianity, there are a number of occasions in the church year where special food may be eaten. These include Christmas, a day celebrating the birth of Jesus, Easter, celebrating Jesus' resurrection from the dead, Shrove Tuesday. Shrove Tuesday is the Tuesday prior to Lent, where Christians remember the time Jesus fasted in the desert, often give up certain foods during this period. And it was traditionally the last chance to use up foods Christians would not be eating during Lent. So, like example, like eggs, fats. I know some Christians gotta give up meats. Yeah. So healthy foods in Christianity, just like Judaism, fish, particularly oily fish like salmon, is a common food in Christian cuisine. In addition to being a good source of protein, fish is high in omega-3 fatty acids, which have been shown to reduce inflammation and lower the risk of heart disease. Fruits and vegetables. Many Christian holidays, such as Easter and Christmas, are associated with specific fruits and vegetables. For example, apples are often used in Christian traditions as a symbol of knowledge and temptation. Fruits and vegetables are rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, which can help reduce the risk of chronic diseases like cancer and heart disease. Whole grains, bread is a common food in a Christian cuisine. A whole grain bread is a healthy option. Whole grains are high in fiber, which can help regulate blood sugar levels and promote feelings of fullness. And lastly, wine. Wine is often used in Christian ceremonies such as communion. Moderate wine consumption has been shown to have health benefits, including a reduced risk of heart disease and certain types of cancers. So again, all these foods and all these like different examples, even if you aren't Christian, you can still use them in your life. You don't have to be religious to to eat these things to eat healthier. So these are just examples showing that yeah, you can take foods from different religions and make an ideal diet. So you can go to the next one. Okay, so true or false, Christianity has restrictions on the type of animals that can be eaten. True or false? Mhm. Okay, yep. And the answer is false. There are no restrictions. Okay, so as we saw, all three religions incorporate fasting in different ways. The overall benefits of fasting are right here. But first, I want to know if has anyone ever done any form of fasting in any religion? You just put in the chat box if you fasted like ever, if it was for Lent. Okay. Did you like it? How did you feel about it? Just like real quick. Just to get a feel what everyone how everyone's view on fasting is.
Hi everyone, it's gonna take a while, to type that out. My name is Funke,
Mhm.
and my heritage is African Christian. So I can say that practically from birth, we've been trained to fast annually.
Mm.
We went from the Catholicism to Pentecostal, which is, where Christianity, especially following Jesus Christ, falls. And in that as well, we have periods where we fast. So we might fast during programs that we have. We fast for specific times or reasons or purposes. So I've been fasting for decades, and the fast, ranges from the Daniel fast that has been put here, as
Mhm.
well as other types of fast. So you can fast for an hour if you're praying a particular prayer point, and you can fast for days. I've fasted from, 1 day, 24 hours, to 3 days, 96 hours, no food, no water, to 7 days, no food, no water, to the more acceptable ones, the length 40 days. I've done several years of that, as well as the continuous sun up to sundown fast that we do. And that ranges from 21 days is the more common one that, Pentecostals do every year in my part of, the world, to it lasting for as long as 100 days at times. But
Wow.
for the longer, the 70 days, 100 days ones, you break at 2. You break once it's 2. So you come off the fast and then you can, ease yourself back into eating. So it's a spiritual exercise, but it's also a bodily exercise because it benefits, the body, because you break with fruits and vegetables. And if you stay on it long enough, you tend to find that you don't get hungry. So it helps the body, cleanses the body. And, obviously the main purpose of fasting, is to seek God's face and get answers to whatever areas of concern that you have at that particular point in time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Nice. So I saw Maureen. I saw you said you did the Daniel fast. It took some getting used to. So do you want to explain like your experience with that? If you want to, you can come on, you can just talk about it. You can just put in the chat if you want to.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just never fasted really in the past, but I'm trying to get into a habit of doing it as the seasons change. So I did the one for spring with the time change rather than wait till the official spring date, but just getting used to just eating like nuts and seeds and more vegetables. I would just fast up until noon is when I would start my first meal, and then just have the items that I mentioned between noon and say 9 p.m. And I would try and do that for 7 days, but just trying to be more intentional with, drinking water and just meditating.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
So does anyone else want to go on like their experience with fasting or anything?
I could just share a little bit. Usually our church does a Daniel fast at the beginning of the year. Partly for the reasons that Sister Funke said about seeking the face of God, especially at the start of the year. Also on the point of discipline. So starting your year with that sense of discipline, and then cleansing your body as well. Frequently during, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, folks may tend to overeat or, really indulge in various types of foods. So the Daniel fast, really kind of getting back to basic foods. No, ultra processed foods, no dairy. I think Maureen mentioned, nuts and seeds, that kind of fruits and vegetables. So I'm used to doing that each year.
Oh, nice. Okay. So anyone else want to share? Right. So yeah. So let's get back to the benefits. Oh, no, you have to go back. Yeah. So benefits of fasting. So weight loss. Fasting can help to reduce body weight, body fat by decreasing calorie intake and increasing fat burning. So improved insulin sensitivity. Fasting can improve insulin sensitivity, which can help to lower the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Lowered inflammation. Fasting has been shown to reduce inflammation in the body, which is a key factor in the development of chronic diseases. Improved heart health. Fasting has been linked to improved heart health by reducing blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and the risk of disease. And enhanced brain function. Fasting has been shown to improve cognitive function, which is just using your brain, memory, and concentration, and increased longevity. So fasting has been associated with increased longevity. Several animal studies and some research suggests that it may have similar effects in humans. But it is important to note that fasting may not be appropriate or safe for everyone, especially individuals with certain medical conditions. It's always recommended to consult with the healthcare professional before starting a fasting regimen. But a diet that can be used by anyone to improve their diabetes and hypertension is the next slide. Yeah, it was the American Heritage Diet. Yeah, but we can go back and do the question real quick. Oh wait, no, we already did the question. Oh yeah, my fault. Sorry. So yeah, so the American Heritage Diet. So as you can see in this food pyramid, the American Heritage Diet is big on being physically active and enjoying meals with others. So it starts off at the bottom. The most you want to eat are greens. Above that are tubers, vegetables. So I see eggplant, carrots, onions, peanuts and nuts, fruits, watermelon, banana. African Heritage Diet. Okay. And oh, okay. Herbs and spices, traditional sauces, fish and seafood. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so fish and seafood at least twice per week. Egg, poultry, and other meats, healthy oils. We're gonna get into different healthy oils and everything later. Drink plenty of water, and then like the more you go up, the less you should be eating. So it's not too much dairy and occasionally sweets. So the African Heritage Diet is based on foods and culture throughout the diaspora. African countries, Caribbean, and parts of South America. Leafy greens, vegetables, legumes, and tubers are the foundation of the diet pattern. So collards, collard greens, callaloo, mustard greens, turnip greens, carrots, okra, onions, garlic, ginger, peppers, rice, plantain, yams, cassava, sweet potatoes, beans of every kind, flavorful spices, fish and meats used in similar portions. So as you can see, all of these foods are foods that are built into either African like culture or African descendants of like culture. So like African Americans, Caribbean people. So you can see like these are all foods that are very cultural based. So the diet is largely plant-based, can promote health benefits such as lowering risk for diabetes, reducing risk for heart disease, provides a culture and ancestral reconnection that many African Americans enjoy, and can help reaffirm cultural identity and promote mindfulness in preparing and eating foods from scratch instead of a typical Western diet. So has anyone ever heard of the African Heritage Diet? You can just put it in the chat if you have. And also put in there, after seeing this, would you think about, incorporating some of the stuff into your diet? So you can just put that in the chat, or you can just, just speak. Anyone? Okay, focus on veggies and legumes. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So next, another diet that can be used is the Mediterranean diet. So it emphasizes plant-based foods. All through Wanda. Okay. It was sweet tooth. Same. I also have a sweet tooth. I love apple products, so like apple pie, apple pastry, stuff like that. That's like my weakness. But yeah, so another diet is the Mediterranean diet. But I'm bringing up these diets to just show you that like these two diets encapsulate like everything we just like went over with all the religions. So like this is like to encapsulate like everything that we just basically just went over. Like these diets incorporate a lot of the stuff that we were going over. So it emphasizes plant-based foods. It's rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. It incorporates healthy fats. We're going to get into fats a little bit. Instead of relying on saturated and trans fats, it encourages the use of healthy fats like olive oil and fatty fish, and a moderation in animal products. Includes some animal products such as fish, poultry, and dairy. So has anyone ever heard of the Mediterranean diet either? You can put in the chat. If you haven't, you can just push now. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Love it. So has anyone like incorporated into their diet? And if you want to, you can speak about it. Or if you want to talk about it a little bit, why you like it. I see Marine loves it. So do you want to go over why you love it?
I can just chime in a little bit, Zaki.
Okay, cool.
I found that like the base of like the Mediterranean diet and the African heritage diet are fairly similar in terms of like nutritious foods, fruits, vegetables, legumes. The specific types of greens or legumes might be different, but still very nutrient dense foods in both diets. So I have eaten both diet patterns, and I think they, it's nice to have a variety of flavors. Given like my Jamaican heritage and African heritage, but I like food from all over, so the Mediterranean diet is delicious too.
Mm-hmm. Also, Rita, you said you've grown up with an African heritage diet. Do you want to go more into that real quick?
Yeah, just a lot of the things you shared on the slide before were things that were in common in my household. Lots of stews that were that were tomato based and tomato and onion based. But we also ate a lot of fish as well. So my family's from the coast. So yeah, so I see both of those kind of diets blending together. So there was a lot of fish as well that we ate growing up.
Yeah, so yeah, that's good.
Can I just add to what she just said?
Yeah, of
I
course.
think a good number of us, this is the diet that we know, we're familiar with. The base here, I'm glad you have the slide up. I was going to ask for it to be up. It will help with my explanation. So the base of most of the foods that we make, as she just pointed out, are the vegetables. So tomatoes, lots of greens, different types of greens prepared in different kinds of ways. Some are sauteed, some are steamed, some are boiled. A few are fried in oils, and we usually add to that some proteins. That's what we call them. So the fish, the meat, whatever type of meat, go into that. And then we usually have it with some carbohydrates. So be it in the form of rice or cassava. That's usually, what we have. That's what, I grew up eating. We are not that big on sweets, sugar, things like that in our diet.
Okay.
And I'm happy, you've reflected that. We do take a lot of oils. We're also not that big on dairy products. So butter, milk, those are not, things that we're hot on. So we're more of the legumes, the beans, all types, again, prepared in, maybe not so healthy ways, some of them, because of the additions, but typically, this is what, we eat.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else want to speak about the two diets? Okay, yeah. So now we can just get into healthy oil versus a little more unhealthy oil. So what is an oil? An oil is a type of fat that is found in many foods. Some oils are good for our bodies, while others aren't not as good. Good oils are called healthy fats. They can help our bodies by providing energy. So providing energy and supporting our brains and keeping our skin healthy. Example of healthy oils include olive oil, which can be used for sauteed dishes and baked goods, but not good for deep frying. Avocado oil, which has a high smoke point, so it's good for baking and sauteing. Coconut oil, which is best to use in moderation, but is still good for either cooking or baking. So can anyone think of any more healthy oils? Like, you just put them in the chat. There's a couple more that I didn't put on here. So if you want to, go in the chat and just say a couple that you think that should be on here. Anyone? No, palm oil is not on there. Yes, safflower. Anything else?
Zaki, if I could chime in real quick on the palm
Yeah, of course.
oil point. So palm oil is it's a saturated fat. So physically it is solid at room temperature. And so it's not a fat that we want to eat a lot of. However, I do recognize, especially in African cooking, palm oil is usually used for the flavor. And so thinking about the African heritage diet pyramid that was shown earlier, the fats and oils are at like the top, tippy top corner. So meaning use sparingly. So recognizing, you might add a tablespoon in a stew or so, but you don't want it swimming in oil. So I just wanted to make that point.
Well, thank you.
And can someone share if they know what oil is used for Ethiopian dishes? Like, I feel it's very oil heavy, even though, I mean, you can get some healthier alternatives with the bread, like what is it, teff? But the oil seems, I don't know what they use, but I'm not sure how healthy it is, even though it's like with lentils and what have you.
Yeah, so Tamara said in the chat, Ethiopian ghee. Okay.
And that ghee is kind of similar. If you see it in the store, it's liquid, or I'm sorry, it's solid at room temperature. So it is a saturated fat, similar to a clarified butter. But it does add a lot of flavor. I think on a practical matter, when cooking, especially some of our traditional African foods from, East Africa or West Africa, or wherever in the continent or the diaspora, using less oil is the key. When I say a tablespoon, sometimes I see dishes that are using like a quarter cup, and that's too much. So you want the flavor, but you don't want a ton of saturated fat in your dish, which is another reason why preparing food yourself at home usually leads to dishes with less fat and less sodium than foods prepared in a larger capacity, like a restaurant or something.
Oh, Francia, Miss Funke said, what of groundnut oil, which forms the base of a lot of African cooking? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, groundnut oil or peanut oil. So it's a liquid oil, so it is unsaturated. Generally, when comparing unsaturated to saturated fats or oils, you want to use more unsaturated fats, so like a peanut oil. And for those that are not familiar with that oil, it's similar to similar in use to a canola or a vegetable oil. It is just oil pressed from peanut.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, just some more examples with like flaxseed oil, walnut oil, sesame oil, grapeseed oil, and sunflower oil. Okay, so unhealthy oils, or a little unhealthier. So they're also called unhealthy fats. They can be harmful to our bodies if we eat too much of them. Examples of unhealthy oils include trans fats and saturated fats. Trans fats are found in foods like fried foods, baked goods, and some margarines. Saturated fats are found in foods like fatty meats, butter, and cheese. It is important to choose healthy oils whenever possible. Try to avoid foods that are high in healthy fats and look for food that contain healthy fats. Remember everything in moderation. Yeah. So in the next slide, it goes over, it shows like a, oh wait, no, next slide. Yeah. So it shows like a, I know it's very blurry, but this is an example of vegetable oil and what the ingredients are in vegetable oil. So vegetable oil is refined and processed. So so it's guaranteed to be like highly processed, and it's called vegetable oil. So manufacturers can substitute whatever commodity oil they want. So soy, corn, cottonseed, canola, without having to print a new label. So for example, here's just it has soybean oil in it, cottonseed oil. Yeah, it's just different oils that they just put in there just to, to show you that, oh, it's vegetable oil. So it's seem like it's healthier, but in reality, it's not as healthy as it could be. Okay, so just said that. So which oil is the less healthy oil? If you put in the chat. Yep, so C, vegetable oil, like we just said. Okay. Okay, so these are just different yeah, so these are just different just Mediterranean diet. These are just different like diets that like foods that you can use for different meals. So we're just gonna go through breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is like related to more of the Mediterranean diet because I know a lot of us, like you said, a lot of us are in here grew up with the African heritage diet. So this is just a little like different perspective. So you can use the Mediterranean diet to basically give yourself like a healthier diet. And all of these are pretty affordable. You can find them in Walmart, you can find them in Safeway. You can do this at home. It's very, very affordable thing to get into. So it's not really that far-fetched. So for breakfast, you can have Greek yogurt with berries and granola, oatmeal with chopped nuts, honey, and cinnamon, and whole grain toast with mashed avocado and a hard-boiled egg. So for lunch, you can have hummus and vegetable wrap. So you can use a whole grain wrap filled with hummus and veggies of your choice, such as spinach, cucumbers, tomatoes. You can have a Greek salad. You can use romaine lettuce, cherry tomatoes, cucumber, onion, feta cheese, and olives. And you can have a lentil soup with whole grain crackers. And for dinner, you can have baked salmon with roasted vegetables such as zucchini, bell peppers, and onions, and quinoa, which is a good rice alternative. And whole grain pasta with tomato sauce. You can use canned tomatoes, onion, garlic, and dried herbs, and a side salad. And lastly, chickpea and vegetable stir fry. So you use frozen stir fried veggies, chickpeas, garlic, ginger, and soy sauce with brown rice. Tamara said, have apple cider vinaigrette on the side, on the salad, homemade. Yeah, that's a good example too. And for snacks, so I'm a big snacker personally. I love snacks. So I love getting like, yeah, apples. I actually have some Honeycrisp apples in the kitchen right now that I'm actually planning on eating after this. But fresh fruits such as apples, bananas, and oranges, nuts such as almonds and walnuts, carrot sticks with hummus you can have, and roasted chickpeas. So let's build a plate together. So which food should be our main dish? The fried fish, baked salmon, or ribeye steak? You can put that in the chat. Yes, so I see everyone saying B, baked salmon. So yeah, so It's hard choices, yeah. So yeah, so fried fish, when fish is fried at higher temperatures, it loses some of its important omega-3 fats and vitamin D. So that's not the answer. And ribeye steak is marbled with fat and full of saturated fat as well. This type of fat is unhealthy for the heart. It can raise your LDL levels, cholesterol, and can clog your arteries. So we're gonna have the baked salmon. So which food should be our side? Roasted vegetables, mac and cheese, or a loaded baked potato? All the above. Yeah, so A, roasted vegetables. Yeah, half your plate. Yep, it should. Yeah, so mac and cheese, everyone knows it's high in calories and sodium, and a loaded baked potato, that just sounds insane. But butter, sour cream, fatty cheeses, and bacon are some of the most common toppings people add on baked potatoes. While many of these foods have their own nutritional advantages, they tend to increase your potato's fat content significantly. You can have like healthier options on the baked potato, but a lot of people don't do that. Okay, so baked potato with yogurt, you said would be nice. Have you ever had that, Cecilia? I've never had that. Is it good? Yeah, okay. Delicious, nice. Might have to try that. Make butternut squash and mac and cheese with whole wheat pasta. Oh wow, that sounds really good. Big sweet potato, yeah. My mom is big on sweet potatoes. Yeah, I can just eat them with nothing in them, just the sweet potato. It doesn't need anything else. Okay, and other side. So should it be white rice, quinoa, or buttery mashed potatoes? Okay, yeah. So you shouldn't really eat white rice that much. Brown rice, like Tamber said, is better. She also said pink rice or black rice. That's also better. Quinoa is actually a very, very good alternative to rice. It's has a lot of nutritional values. It actually has more nutritional values than whole wheat does. And buttery mashed potatoes. If they were just plain mashed potatoes, it would have been healthier. But since they're buttery, that is what's making them very unhealthy. So yeah, quinoa is easy to make. So is anyone big on quinoa? So love quinoa. Yeah. 1 cup of quinoa, 2 cups of water, less than 15 minutes installed. Yeah, chopped sweet potatoes and onions. Yeah, these are some good instructions. I might have to write some of these down. All right, and there's our plate. So there's the baked potato. I mean, not baked potato. Sorry, the baked salmon, roasted veggies, and underneath is that quinoa. So take home activity. So this is just try to implement. If you aren't religious, try to fast or eat different cuisines. It was shown in here. Ramadan's coming up. Purim, which is a Jewish holiday, is just passed on the 17th, and Lent, I think, is still going on. Coming up to Easter. So try to like, even if you're not religious, just try to like see what you can see if you can fast. Just try it, and try to incorporate at least one meal from the Mediterranean diet or the African heritage diet in your meal. I mean, in your life. Yeah. So. And references to use. For more information on the Mediterranean diet, here's the website. Resources for religious cuisines discussed. Here's a website for that. It's not just Muslims, it's Christianity, Judaism, and Islam too. So it's all of them, it's different references, it's different meals you can make according to those. So Better Nutrition, Better for You. I think that's Francine, so she can talk about that more if she wants to. There's a halal dietitian resource, Yakutullah Muhammad, that she runs that. So if you want to go there for her for like just guidance on like if you want to go more halal way. And the last link is the for like African heritage diet, some more information on that. So yeah. Okay, and here's WANDA, advocate for a better food system. This is the Food Bill of Rights and Black Food Census. So you can go to that website and take the census today. And that's just some references. So any questions? Or anyone wants to, have a discussion or anything?
Thank you so much, Zaki, for the presentation. And thank you all for everyone who attended and for your engagement throughout. We really appreciate it. Are there any last questions or comments? We have about 1 minute left.
Will the slide deck be available to us participants?
Yeah, so all of the sessions for the whole series, they will be recorded and posted on the DC Greens website, along with kind of supplemental materials. So you can view it all there. And following this session, we're going to send a follow-up email, probably middle of the week, with the link to that page. Thank you for asking. Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you again, Zaki, great presentation.
Thank you.
And we hope you join us for our following session in April. Details will be coming out via DC Greens. And thank you for joining this session of the Community Nutrition Wellness Series. Have a great day, everyone.